feel like we have a really good opportunity to segue into Steve's portion of how you kind of utilize this and what you've done. Plus, I'm interested in hearing kind of the good work you've done towards the committee that made those guidelines. So.
You mean cause problems?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just if you're watching right there, just go ahead. Okay. Well, I'll show you some of the stuff that we've been doing, and it's interesting because we got into this stuff years ago before there were any guidelines. So I think a lot of the stuff is we kind of broke some of the rules and kind of helped set up some of the rules.
Does that mean I could have been a friendster with the marketing department?
Well, it didn't go back that far, but I did debate MySpace at one point. So. Okay, so I have to apologize because I need to log into my own personal email account first.
You could, do you want to mute it? I don't know if you feel like
No, that's okay. Everyone's grown up here.
The pictures from the Packer game on Monday haven't hit you?
It's not Packer game. I'm still being haunted by Halloween.
Oh?
So, okay. First of all, I just want to show something. This is something here that I would strongly encourage you guys to engage on your Facebook setting. This is a new thing that anytime I log in to Facebook from a computer that I haven't used before, it pops up this screen and asks me, do I want to recognize this computer? So it'll stop asking me that. In this case, I'm going to hit no because chances are I'm not going to be using this specific computer.
Until you clear your cache and then it...
Yes, and then it'll reset. But what's nice about this, as soon as I hit don't save and I go into my Facebook page, my leg will buzz because I will get an email saying somebody's logged into your Facebook account from an unrecognizable computer. If this was you, just ignore the email. But I have it set up for security reasons, so if anyone tries to log into my Facebook account and it's not me, I'll know within 30 seconds.
Well, so if you hit save device, then you won't get notified?
So you'd have to name it. You have to say like, like Truex Room 142A. That's usually how I name the stuff. And then I hit save device, and then I can log into this as many times as I want, and it won't keep asking me that, and it won't. Like my classrooms where I'm teaching Facebook, I do it for those, and obviously my computer at home and my iPad and all that.
I'm just wondering if I name this Steve's office and hit save device, would you get a notification?
No, because it's connected to my Facebook account. You have to be using this computer logging into my Facebook account. So if you somehow got a hold of my password and decided to sneak in here and log in and post, Teresa is weird or something like that, I would know immediately that it wasn't me, and then I could immediately figure that out. Okay, so anyway, I don't know if you guys are aware of some of if you're going to do some stuff on Facebook, it's really good just to spend some time learning the security and the privacy settings. The other thing to look at with Facebook is right here. Do you see the S? HTTPS? That means we are operating over a secured connection. So if you're running some apps, especially on Facebook, and you're not seeing this S, you are in danger of getting hacked. And you've probably heard a couple days ago there was a big story about a bunch of violent images and porn all got posted all over Facebook. It was because people were logging in without a secured connection. And then these outside third-party apps were getting into their accounts. So it's kind of always a good idea just to kind of take a look at that to make sure that you're operating on a secure connection. So, okay, so now we're in, and you know what, there it goes. One just buzzed. Right?
Wow.
It's really quick. So, okay, so what we did is we started these marketing stuff, and we're still on a group right now because I'm actually building our official page with one of my classes that I'm running this semester. So I have the start of what will become the actual page, but I haven't actually activated it and sent it in and registered it with the school yet because the class is doing it as a project this semester. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to do it that way. So we still have our old group. And the difference between a group and a page is pages were made specifically for non-human entities, like businesses. okay? When Facebook, started out as just a way for people to talk to each other, all of a sudden people started realizing they wanted to use Facebook as a business or some type of non-human entity. So they were using groups because that was the only way that you could put together a collection of people and then communicate with them. Facebook resisted that idea for a long time before finally giving in to pressure and creating Facebook pages. Pages is a relatively new concept, and when I say relatively new, they started it about 18 months ago. Okay, and it's still evolving. So, but we still have a group, and that's how I have been doing stuff up until then. So this is what I'm looking at here. This specifically is our group page. What's good and easy about the group is, yes, as I post stuff, and you can see like the other marketing instructors, like Holly also has, all the marketing instructors have access to this group. Those of us who are on Facebook and actually want to use it, we have access. So there are 4 of us that actually use it. So the nice thing about a group is, yes, it will notify people in the group every time there's a new posting. A page, when you post on a page, it will dump it into people's Facebook streams, but they won't be notified. So it's more of a passive form of communication where groups are more active. And I want to specify that because I want to show you a second example once I get to it. So looking at this is our group page. And what I do with this is I just periodically put stuff that is interesting to marketing students. So if you scroll down here, you can see, here's a great, if you haven't seen this video, it's a little video about like a 1-year-old playing with an iPad and then playing with a magazine, and they try to play with the magazine as if it's an iPad. It really shows how how the infants are not scared of technology. It's really fascinating. So I put that in there. Here's the thing about the new iPhone 4 that's kind of funny. Here's a great article, 7 ways universities are using Facebook as a marketing tool. So I just put these articles in here, and you can see some of the students are also posting articles that are relevant to marketing. So it's kind of just a repository for interesting little articles. Well, why do I do that? I do that specifically, first of all, have you guys ever seen Take This Lollipop? Those of you who are on Facebook, the most brilliant thing that has ever been done in the history of Facebook is Take This Lollipop. I'll show it on your own. So, the reason I do it is for things like this, because I want to create this group with enough relevance that people are aware that it's out there, because guess what? We have a new social media class that we added at the last minute, so it didn't make it into the timetable. It wasn't on our website initially. It finally made it into the website database, but I put it up on Facebook with the information, and within about 2 hours, I had 2 students enroll in it. And this is the only place it was publicized. So again, I'm using it, I'm off, I call it off season, when we're not in an enrollment period. I'm just putting content in there just to make sure people are noticing this. And that's important if you're creating a page. You have to be putting content out there on a fairly regular basis. I would say at least twice a week, just to make sure that people are seeing it, to keep that top of mind awareness out there. But then when you actually need the page for something, in this case, we're trying to sell a class, we've got enough people who like it. Now it's interesting that Heidi, this is one of our students, the editor of the Clarion, she posted immediately, oh, I need it online. I emailed her and said, we will have this online eventually, but this is the first time we're running the class. She signed up for the class anyway. So, I mean, it's interesting that you would look at this and say, oh, this is a negative comment. Well, all it did was me just emailing her and saying, these are our long-term plans. And she's like, yep, I totally understand, but I want to take the class now, so I'm going to change my schedule so I can take it.
So why would you put that comment out there?
So, well, that was a conversation. She's a student of mine. So, I mean, I talked to her in class. Is actually how we actually talked.
Weird.
So, yeah. So I mean, and that's the thing is though, if this had been somebody that I didn't know, I probably would have replied to it and said, online is coming, fall of 2012 or something like that.
Steve, for it to be a group, do they have to ask to be in the, don't they have to get put into the group though? They can't just join?
I have it set up that way. You can set it up as an open group or a closed group. I have it set up as a closed group. So anyone that goes to this group and requests to join, I get an email shot to me, and then I have to go in and add them. Now I add everybody. I don't, even if I don't recognize the name, I still add them. So, and you can see we've got 90 people in this group. So my whole thing is, once we get our page up and running, I need to communicate to these 90 people that we now have an official page, and they need to start liking that page to keep seeing this information.
So will you do away with your group then?
Eventually, yes. Is over the spring semester, I will then phase this out. So, and that's a process to migrate people. Now, am I going to get all 90 people to like the page? Probably not. So, but at the same point, people kind of come in and out of it as it is. So, but yeah, I mean, there are people on here that are like students that we've had that have graduated, and they may not like it, but you know, and it's too bad because I know with our social media classes, we've had several students who have graduated who have then come back to taking these classes, and they learned about it because they saw it on Facebook. And it's a way to keep up with our alumni to offer either, you know, further classes on something, or if we ever want to use this for, you know, alumni resources or something, we can do that. So this is kind of something that what we're doing right now, but I really want to show that content is king on social media. And if you're going to do this, before you even touch Facebook or a computer even, you need to really outline how you're going to do this. And you really need to map this out and say, okay, we're going to do postings twice a week, and you're going to do Tuesdays, and you're going to do Thursdays, or something like that. Because if you just create, this is not an, if you build it, they will come. That's not how it works. You have to build it and then give people a reason to follow you and be interested in it. So, and I mean, literally, I do this just, you know, I get up in the morning and I'm reading my news articles about stuff, and I like this thing, Seven Wise University, I saw this article literally, and I'm like, I like this, click, pop, there it is, right there, and then I just forget about it, and it's right there. So, that's one thing that I wanted to show you. And eventually, yes, we will migrate this to a page, and then we will set, but again, this is a work in progress, and we're building the frame right now. The other thing that I have is I also run the marketing club, which is Collegiate DECA. And this is a group, and this will continue as a group. This is a closed group because what I have found is we need a resource for the students who are in the club to talk to each other. And the school, years ago, we set up a Blackboard page for it. Well, guess what? Students don't check their student email on a regular basis. That was a big surprise. But you know what? They check Facebook 8 times a day. So 2 years ago, I made the decision to dump Blackboard and move everything to Facebook. Because guess what? I've yet to find a student in the marketing club that's not on Facebook. I've yet to do it. So they all have to join this group, and this is a closed group. So the only people that see this stuff are the people, and right now we have 20 people in the club that are part of it. And Memo right here, he's the president of the club this year. So you can see a lot of the posting is him posting about, in fact, there's a meeting this Wednesday the 16th at 11 a.m. So it was this morning the students got together because they're going to a conference on Friday. So, and that's how they do this, is they use this as a tool to talk about, here's the information, you know, and then they kind of respond about that. You can agree with this. They can ask questions, and then you can see anything that comes in, I will pop up a little message over here saying such and such has requested to join the group. So I let everybody in the fall, and then in the spring, when we go into active competition mode with the club, I will go through these members, because right now people have joined our group, but they're not having anything to do with the marketing club. They either joined it because they thought they'd have the time and they don't. So I'll just go through, and you know what? I'll just start deleting them all. They're like, well, he joined, but he's not part of the club anymore. I can just delete them right out. Or you can see like here, your Memo and Steve, these are, he's the president, he's the vice president. I made them admin so they can have access to it. And guess what? At the end of May, when we're done for the year, I go through the whole thing and I delete everybody out. And then next September, we start all over again. And this has been a great tool for me because I can use this to kind of keep track of the students. When we have events, like competitions where I need to know who's signing up so I can register them, I create an event, and then you have to RSVP to the event, and I tell them flat out, you want to go on this trip, you RSVP by this date. I go in and I register the names there, and if you're not on that list, you're not going. And believe me, I'll get the call at 11 a.m. on Friday when I've said, the cutoff is noon, and someone's like, oh, I forgot to RSVP, can I still go? And I'm like, well, you're lucky you called me, because if it had been an hour from now, you wouldn't have gone on this trip. Is that kind of hard? Yeah, but it's marketing, it's business, and I'm teaching them business skills, and business skills have deadlines. And you snooze, you lose. That's just the mentality that I've taken on it. So, and I whipped the club into, I mean, they know this. They know that that's how it operates. And this has been, for anyone that runs a club, this has been the best time saver that I could think of. Because this way, it allows the students to run the club, but yet I can still go in and watch what's going on and then use the tools to communicate with them. And of course, if anything comes up, I can immediately just notify my whole group. So I can just, in one message, I can send something to all these people and say, hey, we've got a speaker coming in at the last minute that's really relevant, here's the information. So the other thing is, because they're parts of this club, as people post this, and again, this is my personal stuff, it's actually starting to, it will dump it right into my stream. So people can actually see the stuff in part of the group. So it's a really active way to communicate with people. But it's not a page. So you can see over here.
You're not going to make that a page.
I'm not for the marketing club, no, because I need the interactivity feature of it. I need that two-way communication with those small, usually we end up with about 10 students in the club. That's doable. But obviously the marketing department, you can see Knowledge College Marketing Program. Here is our page in progress. We have not activated it yet because we just set it up. I have an 8-week class, we just started this class. So we just set this up last week, and you can see we've only got 4 likes, and they're all people in the class because I told them to start liking it so they can kind of see. So then this week we're going to go in and we're going to start adding content to the page. So I'm showing them how to build the page, because a lot of these people are adult students, in their 30s or 40s that are taking the class because they're running a business and they want to have a Facebook page for their business. So we're actually building this page as part of our class curriculum. So you can see I can go through and just change who I am. You can see these are a bunch of other pages, like these are some theater groups that I'm involved with. So I can now go in, and if I'm now Outcast Theater, I can go in and post stuff in here and hit share, and the 55 people that like the page will see this, but it'll say that it's from Outcast, not from Steve Knoll. Even though I've logged into Facebook as my personal account, as a moderator of a page, nowhere will you see my name attached to that page unless I want it to. And I don't, because I can go in and, I also know enough stuff about how to set the stuff up. And, there is things like moderation block list. If you're worried about certain terms, you can actually go in and put words that if someone posts using this word, it won't post it. You can block specific keywords. This one I think is so funny, the profanity block list. Medium and strong. We're really curious what the difference between medium and strong. So, and then ultimately, if I want to delete the page, I can delete the page. So, but this is really great. So you can actually go in and allow users to add photos or not. You can allow users to tag photos or not. Because I know pictures is a big thing that the school is worried about. is the whole idea of I take students to the marketing competitions and then they take pictures of themselves, then we post it up on our pages without their permission. You know, now according to Facebook, it's okay. But according to the school, that's one of those gray areas. And when I say the school, it's not just our school, it's pretty much any business is dealing with these legalities of photographs, because there's a lot of privacy issues. And again, this is all a work in progress. It is evolving, it is changing. So you just have to kind of be aware. You can set up a page and not allow users to post or comment on the wall. I mean, I have everything turned on this because, again, anytime somebody does anything to it, it sends me a message, and I can quick check to see what it is. And then if I want to go in and delete it, I can delete it or respond to it. So this is, but I think the pages, how they've set it up, has become a lot more user-friendly. And you know, if you just look at the whole create a page, I mean, it's really, they've got all these templates set up to do this stuff. It's fairly user-friendly.
And that's on the bottom of every Facebook
page. It's right there, create a page. Right.
Is your class the one that sent out a mass email saying that, or put in matters that they needed web pages to create, or was that a different class?
No, that wasn't me. So
that might be IT programming.
But does your class want to create other departments' Facebook pages, or are they busy with yours?
They're probably pretty busy with ours, so I don't want to take
Next semester, though.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing is, yeah, that could be a class project and all that. So I mean, and I just think it's really simple. So that's the whole thing is, you know, Facebook has changed to where you don't necessarily, I think you can still use a personal Facebook account to create the pages, and then once you create the pages and you set up other people as admins, it allows you to still, you don't have to go through that extra step of having to create the fake person, which I mean, that's what a lot of people did as kind of a in-between step. And I'm not, every time we talk, I always feel like I'm thinking like it. So, but I think they've made changes and they've evolved it to make it easier, because that's what happened is a bunch of people said, well fine, we actually did that. We created a fake student to initially do that, and Facebook caught us and booted us out. So now that was 2 years ago. So, but we still have, it was METC marketing program at metcmadison.edu. It was like the longest email address in the world. And that email went to both me and Kristen Utek. So, and we still have that out there if we want to use it, but we found that this is more efficient to do it this way. But once we get the page going up, then we'll probably friend Artie, so, and all that stuff. But right now, you know, it's still a work in progress right now. So anyway, that's kind of the stuff that we've done, using it both as a page to promote our program, and then obviously the group. I wouldn't recommend it for a department, but if you have something else like, you know, like especially for me with the marketing club, the group is just it's the best tool I could possibly use. So, any questions? Stop looking at my Facebook page and see you all reading stuff. So.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you for that. And
Steve?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if this was on the agenda today or not, but were you going to talk about your use of Twitter?
Oh, I can show you Twitter. Are you guys interested?
We have a couple of other things that I really want to get to on the agenda, and so I'd like to keep it to the agenda, but if you would like Twitter to be covered in a future Drupal Web Authors.
I just know that I follow him on Twitter, and I wondered how I'm right now at the point of how this could be useful rather than necessarily, for work.
Yeah,
this might be a good convocation event or something.
Yeah, because my Twitter page is actually better for marketing because my students follow it because I post articles there. I call it bonus content. And it's also a good resource for me because as I read stuff, I tweet them to myself, and then I have a whole archive of stuff. Like I just found something about how much celebrities charge to send out a tweet. Like Ashton Kutcher will tweet for you for $8,000. So, which I think is kind of, I mean, but right now it's not relevant to my class, but next spring in Principles of Advertising we talk about celebrity endorsement. Yeah. So I want to remember that article, so I tweeted it to myself, and it's in my Twitter stream, and I can find that article next spring. So it's a great tool just for my own note-taking. So.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. That was very insightful. I did have another handout about just another organization that was actually an accounting department that used Facebook and how they used it. And so on the back of the innovation abstract, that's about another group that used Facebook for connecting with students. So our next item, we have two more things on the agenda. One's about organizational change with Gwen. And then last, I'm going to just finish with the forms database. And I think I'm just going to be really prompt about it. And if you have any questions, you'll have to kind of talk with me offline.